Let's start with the brief bio. Darren Shaw really almost accidentally became a leader in local SEO. It's a far cry from his degree in anthropology. He got started in local SEO when his website clients started asking how to rank in the first local packs. From there, his company has grown, becoming a staple in the community, adding talent such as Novislav, an expert in citations. Now, with his dream team, he has built whitespark.ca as a software and agency company based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. So, I'm in Edmonton. We have a small team in Edmonton I guess there's 6 of us here. And then the rest of White Sparkers are all over the world. We have a bunch in the US. We have a bunch in Bulgaria. We have Yaroslav is in Malaysia. And we have Edward, who's in the Netherlands. So, we're pretty distributed. We're all over the place.
Great talent really is everywhere and shouldn't be restricted by distance, yeah?
That's right. Yeah. We will hire whoever the best person is, no matter where they live. It's nice because we don't have an office. I work. This is my office right here. I no commute. It's really nice, and all of our employees enjoy the same. It's good.
And now you are living in your dream neighborhood. Mike Ramsey really did an excellent in-depth interview we'll link to.
Sure.
We asked Jan today because the SEO community has to wrangle citations all the time, and you and your team have really become experts in citations. NAP seems to be a hard subject for business owners to grasp. How do you explain it?
Seems pretty simple to me, but I guess I'm pretty hooked into it. It's NAP stands for name, address, phone number, and the idea is that it's kind of like a mention of your business. So the more places that your business is mentioned, the more prominent you look to Google within the local ranking algorithm. So, and that certainly consists of what most people think of as citations. So that would be having your name, address, and phone number on a business listing site like yellowpages.com or yelp.com, that kind of thing. But it goes much further than that. Citations on sites like your local newspaper or a local blog or an industry-specific blog. When you start getting mentions like that, those carry a little bit more weight. So citations are just a mention of your name, address, and phone number somewhere out there on the web. Typically, people think of the business directory side of things.
Directories are one good solution for getting correct business information out there. So you are actually in a unique situation. You have 3 methods for helping business owners and agencies obtain citations. The DIY software local citation finder for about $17 a month, a la carte citation building services for as little as $3 a listing, and then from there, you really have a NAP cleanup service done for you, several $100s a month till it's done. How did each come about?
Well, so prior to 2010, we were mostly just a web development company. And then I read a blog post by the great Garrett French about a method for identifying competitor citations. So I read the post and I realized our development team, we could build something to automate that process. So we built the local citation finder, the first version of it. And from there, I just, it kind of was popular. People liked the software. And so we kept building it up into what it is today. And I just really felt like this was a new opportunity for WhiteSpark. And so we really started to focus on it. And I obsessed about learning everything I could learn about local SEO. I already knew a little bit of the basics because I was sort of into it, but I hadn't really fully studied everything. So I really got into it, and we just sort of turned into a local SEO company. And then having the service or the software that allowed people to find citation opportunities, they would use the software and they'd be like, oh, so now I have to go and build all these citations. Well, that's going to be a lot of work, and I don't want to do that. Can I hire you to do it? And a lot of people are asking. So we said yes, and we partnered with this company called OptiLocal. They're in Bulgaria, and we do all the citation building service now as well. So that's how the citation building service came along. And then citation audit and cleanup was something I always wanted to do because I didn't think there was really a good solution out there in the market, and I always had a good idea for it. And when Yaroslav joined WhiteSpark, it was perfect. It was like, okay, well, you're starting at WhiteSpark, we're going to build a service. And so we built a service, and he's built his own team now. He's got 4 people working with him as well. So that's just how it's grown.
So they can save the headache by calling WhiteSpark.
that's the thing, because like, messing around with your citations isn't a fun job, and that's why a lot of people want to outsource it. And so we wanted to be the best provider in the industry for that.
If you have ever gone and tried to clean up a NAP disaster, there is a value to your time and sanity. Not to get off topic, but we will include your prior study with Moz about the best directory sources for citations. Any word on a refresh of this study?
That's a great list, but it was built in 2012, so it's pretty outdated. I'll be speaking at MozCon Local coming up in February, and one of the things I'll be presenting there is a whole refresh of that study. So I'm redoing that whole study. I'm increasing it from 10 to 20 sites. I'm excluding any brands. A lot of those categories will show like specific brands, like Roto-Rooter ranks in plumbing, and so that's kind of a waste of someone's time because you can't go and get a citation on Roto-Rooter. So we are. I'm cleaning that up, and I'm expanding it to Canada, UK, and Australia. So we're going to be publishing that around the same time that I speak in February at MozCon Local. So there'll be a much better version of that coming out soon.
That is really great. And y'all listening to this, you heard it here first. One super thing about the magazine is we can push those updates to past issues and help keep you current. With the recent local search ranking factors survey updates, how did it affect citations? Are citations more or less important now?
Yeah, so I think I answered this in the interview with Mike as well. My thinking about citations in general is that they're table stakes. So back in, let's say, 2009, it was enough for you just to go out and get all of your business listing directories, and you could rank quite well with just those citations because Google didn't have all the other signals, and most businesses weren't doing it. Now things are a lot more competitive. So citations are still just as important as they always were, but they don't have the same impact that they used to because things are more competitive. So now you have to just consider it table stakes. So if you don't have them, you're not going to rank. So you have to get them, but then you have to do all the other stuff as well. And that would be unstructured citations, things like mentions of your name, address, and phone number on blogs, newspapers, local government sites, anything you can get like that, and then link building. So, Google identifies your popularity and your prominence based on how many people are mentioning you online, and links are a huge factor of that. Your content is really important. You can't just put up a 2-page plumbing website now and expect to rank. You really need to build out your content, describe every service in really good detail, start doing some next level content that could attract links. That's the kind of thing that is really needed now. So citations still very important, but you can't rely on just that. You can't just build your citations and be like, okay, well, I'm all done, I'm going to rank now. It requires a lot more.
Back in the day, that really was one of the few things you had to do, and you were golden. Now you have to be accurate with the information across the web, listed on quality websites, in the correct categories, and everything completely filled out. So like you said, you're not even invited to the table if you don't have citations.
Right.
Recently, David Mims said the user's location is the new centroid. This puts the focus now on the individual location. How does this affect the address businesses choose? Should you ever have to move?
Well, it's a lot more significant on mobile, and a lot of searches are being done on mobile. On the desktop, Google doesn't have a great way of identifying your exact location, so you kind of get more general. These are the most prominent businesses in the city. When you do it on mobile, Google has a better idea of where you're located and will try to show you businesses in your direct location. And that can have a really interesting impact. Like, I'm doing a study right now with a brand new business, submitted it out there into just the citation sites, and they're getting calls already. And when I ask, like, well, how did you find us? Because there's no other signals really other than citations. And it's like, oh, I just looked you up on my phone. And so when you are that close to the searcher, then you can actually rank, even if you don't have all the other signals. So it really can have a huge impact. In terms of selecting your address, there's not much you can do about it. If you're a service area business and you have the option of choosing an office, then I would choose it in an area with dense population, I suppose. But I think that the factor it's just one you can't really control. It is definitely a factor. Depending on where you are, you're going to see the businesses that are closest. But from an optimization standpoint, there's not much you can do about it.
So don't sell the location and move.
If you're like in the boonies on the outskirts of town, then that could affect you, I suppose. And you might actually ask that question, like, are we not getting any calls because everyone's searching on mobile and you're 50 miles away from anybody? That's an interesting consideration, but you would still have that problem even on desktop search if you were that far out, right? You kind of do need to be where the people are, even on desktop.
Quite a few business owners want to rank in cities even 45 minutes away. Is that really unrealistic?
It's a local pack because Google will rank actual businesses based on the location, but in organic, that's what you want to do. So you want to try to rank in localized organic results, and you do that with a really good city page. So you'll have a page that talks about your service in that specific city and have lots of content talking about specific aspects of the city and the work you do and some case studies and some jobs you've done in that city. Just really build that page out and then you'll have a chance of ranking it.
And you have a chance to be right under the pack or above it sometimes.
Right.
So I've noticed a real problem in citations. Each site requires different processes, especially when cleaning up NAP issues. Is there anywhere someone can go to get it all set straight?
Yeah, we have all that information internal, and we're actually just about to publish it. So the August Lab citation team has been gathering all that information about, like, how do you add a listing on these sites? How do you discover listings on these sites? How do you update anything that's incorrect? And how do you remove duplicates? So we have all that information, and we're just about to publish it. If you go to our website, we have this top 50 citations list. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that each of those sites, you can just click a button for it to expand, and it'll give you all that information on any of those most important sites. So, for us, it feels like, oh, well, I can do it myself. But I think when most people start doing it themselves, they realize how much work it is and how much a hassle it is. So we feel like it's good information to share for those that want to do it. It'd be great for all the agencies that have an in-house team that can do it. And we don't really worry about it really cutting into our sales. We have more than enough sales, more people signing up for that service than we can handle anyway. So we're happy to share the information.
Are you guys listening to that? That is huge. Something I've wanted to make myself, but was always daunted by the task. And Darren is just giving it away for free. Oh, and Darren, I'm sure that's a great way to get your average time up on site as well. That is some real company stuff you're doing.
Thanks. Yeah, real company stuff.
Darren, last question. This has been so enriching to have you on. What is your favorite citation technique?
It's funny because I think the best thing any business can do for citations is you use our software, but this is something you don't need our software for. The most important citations that you can build easily are the ones, so let's say you're a plumber in Denver. Go to Google, type in Denver plumbers, scan the first 2 or 3 pages for the actual citation sites. Those are the most important citations you can get. So if you see Yellow Pages ranking there, if you see Yelp there, you will see Yelp because it's always Yelp. If you see, Denver business list, any sites that you see for those keywords, those are your really key citations that you really want to focus on. And you don't want to take it beyond just submitting. You want to make sure that you focus on those sites in terms of those are the ones you should get reviews on. Those are the ones you should have a really detailed description. You should have great photos. If you really build up those key citations, then those are the strongest ones for you to focus on. A lot of people don't think about that. They just kind of have a shotgun approach. But when you take a focused, targeted approach, you know that those sites are important for Google because they're ranking on 1, 2, and 3, pages 1, 2, and 3 of the search results for that specific term. So I guess that's my favorite citation building technique.
So take advantage of the barnacles. If you rank or not, use them to help propel you above, and it will really rank your website. And Darren, I really set you up with that question because you have software and services that solves that problem. Very classy answer, though. Way better than just buy my stuff. Well, Darren, you are the citations man. Thanks for coming on. And for our listeners out there, Local SEO's Mag is now available in Apple and Android app stores, as well as podcast. So for great materials such as these interviews, check things out and pay it forward by subscribing and leaving a review. Thanks again, Darren.
All right, thanks for having me.
So Darren, that sounds way too crazy.
You have a bloopers reel after.
Yeah. That'd be funny. Yeah, for each one. Okay. Well, I'll cut that in. Was that good enough?
Sure. Why not? I gotta get this app. I'm gonna get it right now.